Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nithai Gora Chandra, Nithai Gora Chandra, Gora Hari. Jaya Nithai Gora Chandra, Nithai Gora Chandra, Gora Hari. Jaya Radha Bihari, Radha Bihari, Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranithai, Jaya Gauranithai, Jaya Gauranithai, Jaya Gauranithai. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nithai Gora Haribo, 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 Nithai Gora Haribo. Nithai Gora Haribo, 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 Nithai Gora Haribo. Gora Premanande, Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya Stotra Sata Sishimaras Divine Grace ISKCON Swami Sri Hari-bhakti-vilasa ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya Stotra Sata Sishimaras Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi ki, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki, ISKCON founder Charge Sri Prabhupada ki, Prem Sikho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sidvaita Gadadha Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Mathura Dham ki, Navadvip Dham ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Jagannathpuri Dham ki, Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Tulsi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Samaveta Bhakta-vrinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Aginati Vedanyasya Jnana Jnana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Vayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavamscha Tirupa Sagjatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sijivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pana Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sunnivevacha Vatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaura Vani Pacharini Nirveshesha Sunnivari Paschatyari Sitarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Guratiche Namaha Ananda Lilamaya Vigrahaya Himavida Vichal Sandaya Tasmi Mahaprema Raspadaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Hare Krishna. Shri Jhulana-yatra Mahotsava ki. Shri Prabhupada ki. So this afternoon, please try to keep your children quiet. Please try. The parents of the children. So, this afternoon begins the Jhulana-yatra festival. And the Jhulana-yatra festival is the swinging of Sri Radha Krishna. It is a very intimate and wonderful festival, and it is celebrated all over the world. So many temples are doing the same thing we do. Some of them may have done it in the morning. When I was in Girinagri, it was a morning affair. Shri Radha Damodar were taken outside, and a platform, nicely decorated. Something similar will be done here today. they also, from what I understand, it will be outside in the trees. So this will be a change and a very welcome change, and I hope that things work out wonderfully. By the will of the Lord, things do happen, of course. Everything is by the will of the Lord. So, since Jhulana-yatra involves a pastime of Radha, Krishna, and the gopis, the decision has been made that, with the help of my Guru and Srila Prabhupada, that we speak something about the pastimes of Radha, Krishna, the gopis, and possibly other types of pastimes, some of them indirectly related to the gopis and some of them not. So, we will go straight into the pastimes of the Lord. Maybe I should preface it by just saying something that Krishna, of course, is our worshipable Lord. He is a supreme personality. No one is at his level. But when he is with his devotees, he plays different types of relationships in order to excite his devotees. So it's all done in love, and it's all done to please those who he's relating to, and they also exchange that same pleasure with him. So it's all loving exchange. And Jhulana-yatra is no different, the stringing of the Lord. But we'll get to some of the pastimes of that later. Now, since this pastime involves Radha and Krishna, the first one we're going to talk about involves the gopis in Vrindavan. So they have activities that they perform right from early in the morning until later in the evening every day. It turned out in this particular situation, they had baskets full of prasad and other items that they wanted to cross the Jamuna River with. The gopis came to the banks of the river and on the river Jamuna, and there were those who had boats, and you basically go talk and negotiate with the boatman, the person that, and then, you go on from there. Now, when it comes to things like that, it's Lalita, usually, that would go make the negotiation. So this was no different. Lalita went to make negotiation, but before then, they realized that most all of the boats were gone. They had been taken, gone over to Jamuna to the other side. There was only one boat left. So clearly, Lalita had no choice but to go to that particular boat. And the person that was responsible for running that boat business was a very old man. An old man. Lalita went to him and spoke to him for a while, and then the agreement was made. She motioned to the other gopis, so they all came and climbed into this boat. Wasn't that big a boat, but they had quite a bit of possessions, mostly food. And they got on the boat, and when they all got on the boat was barely clearing the level of the river. It was quite a bit of weight. And all right, so we're ready to go, we're crossing. The old man took his oar and started rowing. Now, of course, he's not going to go fast because he's old. So he's rowing slowly, slowly. And the gopis just looking at him. But of course, what can they do? This is the only boat that's there. So this old man rows the boat, gets to the middle of Jamuna River, and then he turns to the gopis and tells them, "I'm hungry. Would you please give me some food to eat?" The gopis look at each other, well, what can we do? We just put him on the boat. So they gave him, all right, you take as much as you like. So the old man puts his oar down and starts looking at what was there and started eating. And eating, and eating, and eating. He had a large appetite. So he ate quite a bit. And in the meantime, the boat was going nowhere because he wasn't rowing the boat. When he finished eating, then he says, well, now thank you very much. I'm really stuffed and I need to take a nap. So if you'll excuse me, he put his oar down and he went to sleep. And the boat was in the middle of the Yamuna River, and the gopis says, what in the world have we put ourselves in getting this old man? But there was nobody else, so what could we do? So he's sound asleep, and they're stuck in the middle of a boat, the Yamuna in the river, the boat drifting every which way. So one of the gopis noticed that the old man had a small cloth bag with him. They said, well, let's see what's in that bag. After all, he's sleeping. He won't be able to know that we've done that. So they opened the bag, look at a few things in there, and they took one thing out. And what comes out? A flute. And that flute very much looked like Krishna's flute. And so they looked at it and said, this is Krishna's flute. So the old man must be Krishna. So then they started laughing at themselves because the Christians played a trick of them. But they said, hey, if Krishna is the one riding the boat, we always love to be with Krishna, so we don't really care when he wakes up or where he takes us. We're okay with it. He can do whatever he likes. He can do whatever he likes. So they found out it was Krishna that played a trick on them as the boatsman. So this is the first short pastime of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'll tell another one. This one, Krishna, Radha, and the gopis, they would meet in the forest of Vrindavan, and they would, not Krishna, but the gopis would decorate an area set aside for them in order for them to have their pastimes. They call it the grove, so kunja. So that day, Krishna was supposed to join Srimati Radharani in Srimati Radharani's grove. Krishna wasn't there at first. It was the gopis that set up everything so that Radha and Krishna can perform their pastimes in the grove. They dressed up Srimati Radharani wonderfully. She looked so radiant. She's very beautiful. So she is in the inner chamber of the grove, and they're waiting on Krishna to come. Krishna is coming. Krishna is coming. Krishna may be coming. Krishna is not there yet. So they waited. There was no Krishna. And so Srimati Radharani began to be a little bit disturbed about it. And she was now feeling down that Krishna should have showed up and hadn't. And so on the inside the grove, the chamber where she was at, she started writing some things with her finger on the ground, expressing how she was feeling, that Krishna was not there. Now, Lalita and Vishaka, the two of the principal gopis, they were there. And they said, well, we have to do something about it. Krishna is not here. And so we have to find out where he is and try to get him to come because we can't have Srimati Radharani feeling so down. So they started asking. They came out of the grove, started asking anybody they saw, have you seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? And it didn't take long. They found out that Krishna was in another grove having a pastime with none other than Chandravali. He was supposed to join Srimati Radharani in Srimati Radharani's grove, but he's over Chandravali's grove with her. And so they found that out. And they came back, they means Lalita and Vishaka. Got upset about it, but they came back and told Srimati Radharani that this is what has happened. This is why Krishna is not here. He is with Chandravali. Now, those that hold Lalita and Vishaka, that Krishna was at Chandravali's, also went to Chandravali's and told Krishna, Srimati Radharani knows you're here with Chandravali. So Krishna found out. Krishna found out that he had been found out on the other side of the grove. And immediately he took off, running. He left Chandravali and ran towards Radharani's grove as fast as he could. When he got there, Lalita and Vishaka were standing at the gate. And they said, we're not letting you in. Not for what you have done to Srimati Radharani. We won't let you in. Everybody, the two of them, were very, very angry with Krishna. We won't let you in. Krishna says, I know what happened. Yes, I was with Chandravali's, and I am an offender. In fact, I am number one offender. Please, please, please let me in. I'm an offender. I will apologize. No. They would not let him. Today you're going to learn your lesson. Then Krishna said to Lalita and Vishaka, now if you just let me in, I'll present myself in the Shyamasundar form, and that form Radharani loves very much. So then everything will be taken care of nicely. Lalita and Vishaka says, oh, you're trying to bribe us too? To try to find a way to get in? You're not getting in. No matter what. Go, leave. Krishna turns around, very, very, very disappointed. Radharani is already inside the grove. She's already disappointed. And Krishna leaves also disappointed because Lalita and Vishaka wouldn't let him in. Not far from where he walked to, he met up with Purnamasi. Purnamasi, when it comes to Krishna's pastime, that's Yogamaya. Yogamaya, that's Purnamasi. So Purnamasi met up with Krishna, and Krishna said, and told Krishna, well, now you know you shouldn't have done what you've done. But you want to see Radharani, and we're going to make arrangements for you to see Radharani. In fact, you have to wait, and he told where Krishna had to wait, away from anyone at the grove for Radharani. He couldn't see him. So the place is farther away enough. It says, you wait here, and Brinda, Tulsi, will meet up with you and tell you what to do. So Krishna agreed. And sure enough, didn't take long, Tulsi showed up. And Tulsi said, all right, I'm going to assist you to get to Srimati Radharani. First, you have to change your clothes. And you have to dress up as a sannyasi. Now, Vrinda made all the arrangements, brought the clothes and everything. So Krishna changed into the clothes of sannyasi. He was given the tree danda, full regalia, now he's sannyasi, and quite disguised too. You can't tell it's him. And then Vrinda taught Krishna a song. And he said, so now you dressed up like a sannyasi, go towards the path that's close to the grove for Radharani, but you should keep singing the song. The song actually was in praise of Radha Krishna. It was Radha Krishna pastime. His Holiness Guru Govinda Maharaj actually told this the first time I heard it, and he knew the song. He sang it, but I don't know the song, so we just say that he sang the song. Sannyasi, he was singing the song, and when he came in the earshot of Lalita and Vishaka, they turned around, they saw this sannyasi, they couldn't tell it was Krishna. They saw this sannyasi, and immediately they thought, well, Radharani is feeling so down, so if we get this particular sannyasi to come sing this nice song, maybe he would cheer her up. So why don't we just go find out whether he'll come? So then they went to where this sannyasi was, and they said, oh, Sannyas Thakur, we have a friend inside this grove here we heard your song. It's very nice. And we would like you to come to the grove and sing to cheer up our friend who feels so down. And sannyasi said, well, I'm actually traveling. We sannyasi, we don't have much time, and I have a long way to go. But since you're insisting, I'll just come over to your grove for a short while. So then, Radha and Vishaka led the sannyasi to the grove, and when they got in first, they didn't go to the inner chamber yet. They just have him wait in the first room, but not the inside room. And then they went into the inner chamber and told Radharani, we know you're down, Krishna didn't come, but we saw this sannyasi, he's singing such a nice song. And so we've invited him to come, and he has gracefully agreed to come. And so if you let her, or let him sing, you just hear. We think it's a very nice song. You just hear him out, sing so nicely. And then maybe that would cheer you up a little bit. So Radharani had to be encouraged, persuaded. Finally, he said, all right, I will listen. So then Lalita and Vishaka invited the sannyasi inside to where Radharani was. Now, by etiquette, Radharani had a veil, and she covered her face with the veil. You could still see through this, but he covered her face like that. Radharani prefers to show her face to the gopis and Krishna, not another person. So the sannyasi comes and says, here, they tell him, here's our friend. Please sing the song that we heard you sing. And the sannyasi started singing, same song, sung so wonderfully. And Radharani was appeased somewhat, not fully, but it was nice because, his gopi friends were trying to cheer her up. So when the sannyasi finished, so he thought, okay, I'm done with the song. But then they asked him, we would like to have you calculate the fortune of our friend. And this is how Guru Govinda Maharaj put it. He says, can you calculate the fortune for our friend? And Sannyasi Thakur said, yes, I can calculate the fortune. I can calculate. And then Lalita and Vishaka told the Sannyasi Thakur, to do that, you have to hold her hand and then begin to calculate the fortune and make the prediction. Sannyasi Thakur said, no, I'm a sannyasi. I don't touch women. I do not touch women. But in order to do this, if you can let your friend take the veil off her face, that's all. Then I will just calculate the fortune for her. So they tried to convince Radharani says, no, I don't want to do that for the sannyasi. No, doesn't want to hold my hand. So a little bit more persuasion, after a while, then Radharani says, all right. So then Lalita took the veil off Radharani's face. And now Sannyasi Thakur, and as Guru Govinda, I like the way Guru Govinda Maharaj put it, he says, now Krishna is looking at Radha eyeball to eyeball. That cheating Krishna came in looking as a sannyasi, looking at eyeball to eyeball, and immediately that their eyes met, looking at each other, Krishna changed himself into the Sundar form. So he went from sannyasi to immediately Sundar form, and Radharani just jumped with joy. Oh, Krishna. Now, Lalita and Vishaka goes, Krishna, you cheat! Because he did not know, of course they didn't know, they had been totally taken by this whole sannyasi disguise. And so, Lalita and Vishaka are angry. Radharani is happy that Krishna has come. But then who is the boss of the gopis? Radharani. And so if Radharani is happy, what could they do? They looked at Radharani. They means Lalita and Vishaka looked at Radharani. They are angry with Krishna, but Radharani is happy, therefore they kind of backed away. And Krishna told them, see, I told you. I changed this and did the Shyamasundar form, Radharani will be happy. And so, no, that's what happened. So, Krishna said sometimes when I'm not around, obviously knew that they were in Chandravali's group, but it says when I'm not around, separating from you, it increases the longing, my longing to see you, Radharani, and so on. Lalita and Vishaka wouldn't buy any of that. He said, you just pointed out, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gopi. Anyway, so Krishna finally came to a trick and got to meet Radharani. So then they had their pastimes in the grove. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now, we have time for maybe one, maybe a couple more. Another pastime?
Yes, please.
So, this is also in Vrindavan. The gopis at that time were, by the way, before I say this, gopis are very intelligent. Very, very, very intelligent. They know a lot of things. They keep themselves in a simple way of life, but they are very, very intelligent. And in this pastime, they were running the government in Vrindavan. The gopis were. And Krishna didn't have anything to do. So Krishna went to the gopis, the government, and told them that he wanted to go around Vrindavan and talk about the glories of Srimati Radharani to those who were living in Vrindavan. And the government, the gopis, they said, all right, that's an idea, but we have protocol. You, Krishna, if you want to do that, you have to write a proposal and hand the proposal to us, and we will look through the proposal, and then, based on what you've written, we'll give you permission. So Krishna says, look at these gopis, all right, you want me to write a proposal? All right. So he drafts the proposal, goes to the gopis in governmental session, hands the proposal to them. Lalita looks at the proposal, and within a few seconds he says, proposal rejected. He says, why? Lalita says, yeah, you have written the proposal, we see that, but there are no references. You're making statements, but you're not backing it up with any kind of references where you heard it. There's nowhere in the proposal. So, proposal rejected, take it back, go find your references, put it in the proposal, and return it, and we will reconsider. So Krishna was kicked out. He goes out. All right. So he found some references, put it back in the proposal, sent it back to the gopis, and the gopis said, all right, we accept this proposal. But actually, since you weren't doing anything, you wanted something to do, we have something for you to do. We want you, Krishna, to be the police constable in Vrindavan. You be law enforcement in Vrindavan. So Krishna agreed. So then they took his clothes off and, changed him into police constable clothes. Now he's a police. Still, they allow the peacock feather to be there, though, because that is his signature, So he becomes a constable. And now he has a job. And after a few days, Krishna returns to the government with the gopis, and he tells them that, you know the flute that I play? They said, yeah, we know about it. He says, my flute is missing. I can't find it anywhere. And the gopi said, so your flute is missing. Actually, we like the fact that your flute is missing because when you start playing, it gives us so much goosebumps, an American way of putting it in. We get all so attracted to the music that we can't run the government properly. Our attention comes to your flute, so it's actually better that your flute is gone so we can actually run the government properly without any interruption from your flute. And by the way, we thought you're the police constable. If you can't take care of your own property, whose other property can you protect? When you lost your own flute, you can't even take care of your flute. So the Christian responded and said, I can understand. I know I'm a police constable, I'm supposed to take care of things. If someone in Vrindavan took the flute, then I can understand that. But if people from high places took my flute, then that's another matter. The gopi says, what do you mean people in high places? Are you talking about us, the gopis? We didn't take your flute, and we can prove it to you. So one by one, the gopis started taking enough of their paraphernalia to make sure that the flute is not with any of them. One person comes, he takes a few things of veil and so on, says, I don't have your flute. Another one, and so on. And he got to Lalita. And as Lalita was taking his veil off, Krishna's flute fell down from Lalita's body. Krishna says, oh, so you took my flute. And Lalita immediately got upset. No, I didn't take your flute. Krishna says, you did. Everybody saw. No, I did not. You planted the flute on me. Krishna said, it's a big argument. Lalita says, you, Krishna did. Krishna said, I did not. You did not. You did. So much commotion. And it became obvious that Lalita was not going to be able to out-talk Krishna. Krishna was standing firm that he didn't plant this on Lalita. Now remember, Lalita is the one that rejected the proposal? Just to remind you about that. So here, Lalita said to Krishna, now, here is Radharani. Radharani was part of the government. In fact, she was the queen at the time, the way they arranged it. So she was on the throne. And Lalita said to Krishna, so if you're saying that you didn't plant the flute in my veil, I would like you to go to Radharani, where she is, and touch her feet and swear that you did not put the flute in my veil. Krishna says, okay. So Krishna starts moving towards Radharani. And Krishna, as we well know, is so much in love with Srimati Radharani that Srimati Radharani is sitting on the throne, waiting for Krishna. Krishna is coming. But then Krishna was so much in love, and the loving feelings that Krishna had for Radharani were actually making it impossible for Krishna to walk straight. So she was stuttering a little bit, trying to go into this. And Lalita said, see, didn't I tell you? He can't even get to Radharani. That all proves that he planted this. So again, another argument is getting ready to start. And this time Radharani stopped them. Stopped both of them and said, so I heard you, but I have a request to make. Many, many, many times in all the preparations that we do here for our pastimes, whatever you gopis say, I go along with it. But today, I have a suggestion that I would like for you to consider. So I'm queen of Vrindavan, but there is no king. I want a better half, so to speak, a king, so that king and queen could manage or rule Vrindavan. There is an extra throne here, nobody's sitting on it. So I would like to suggest to you that you make Krishna the king, so that I'm queen and then Krishna will be king. All the gopis immediately agreed. Oh, it's a wonderful idea. We're going to change it. Took the constable clothes off and all that. Well, almost all of them agreed. You know who didn't, right? Who did not agree? Lalita was still angry at what Krishna had done to him. But the gopis dressed up Krishna as a king anyway. And he sat right next to Radharani. And he looked so regal and so handsome. And he turned around and looked at Lalita and says, well, now, how do you like me now? Started teasing. How do you like me now? Lalita was still angry, but there was nothing he could do about it. So, in the pastime, so Krishna became king. Krishna tricked Lalita because of what Lalita did to him. So this is just back and forth, trading. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You can do one more.
Yes, please.
Actually, I'll do one more and then we'll talk a little bit about Jhulana-yatra. Maybe we'll end it that way. Okay. So, Boga been offered? No? It's going now. Okay. Oh, well, then I have to be here for a little while. Boga's not offered yet. Anyway, so, all right, so this one is about Krishna, gopis, Radharani, Jatila, Kutila, and Abhimanyu. Now let's explain a little bit. So who's Abhimanyu? Don't think about the Abhimanyu, Arjun's son, Kurukshetra, or not that Abhimanyu. There is an Abhimanyu in Krishna's pastimes. He's supposed to be, and as I always say, the so-called husband of Srimati Radharani. That Abhimanyu. That Abhimanyu's Shishi Nitai Gore Chandra ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So, Jatila is Abhimanyu's mother, and Kutila is Abhimanyu's sister. Abhimanyu is supposed to be married to Radharani. So, in this particular day, what happened was in the village pretty close to where they were living, they means Jatila, Kutila, Abhimanyu, and Radharani, because Radharani is supposed to be married, right, to Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu went to the village to buy some cows. He first went to the village market to choose the cows that he wanted and also negotiate the price for the cows. Now, Srimati Radharani was also there at the market at that time. Jatila was there, Kutila was there. And so Abhimanyu went in and negotiated the price of the cows and decided to go back to their house, which was not far away, to get the money and come back and pay and get the cows. Now, Krishna got wind of it, of what's going on, and he wanted to see Radharani. So with him and the cowherd boys, they figured out, they hatched a plot to try for Krishna to get to Srimati Radharani. So through the cowherd boys, they spread a rumor at the time that Abhimanyu had gone home. They spread a rumor in the market that Krishna is coming to the market disguised like Abhimanyu. And he wants to come there because of Srimati Radharani. And so this rumor spread, and Jatila heard about it, and Kutila heard about it. So the two women grabbed some sticks and stationed themselves at the gate to the market. And says, Krishna's not going to get past us. Krishna's going to come disguised as Abhimanyu. So in the meantime, Abhimanyu is home. He gets the money. He comes back. He comes back first. Gets to the gate, the real Abhimanyu. And Jatila and Kutila, they stop him. They said, you're not coming into the market. We will not let you in. Abhimanyu said, why? I'm coming to buy the cows. No, we won't let you in. You are Krishna, disguised as Abhimanyu. We won't let you in. Abhimanyu is shocked. What all of that happened? My own family members won't even let me. I am Abhimanyu. They go, no, you're not. We know you are Krishna, disguised as Abhimanyu. You want Radharani, and you're not getting. Get out of here before we beat you with these sticks. No matter what Abhimanyu said, they wouldn't listen to him, and he realized they were really going to beat him, so he ran away. Poor guy runs away, and what happens? After that, Krishna shows up there, dressed perfectly like Abhimanyu. And when he showed up, Jatila and Kutila were so happy. Oh, Abhimanyu, we were waiting for you. Krishna came disguised. Now you have come. They embraced him. They were very happy to see him, but that was Krishna disguised as Abhimanyu, though. And he came, and they let him in. And so Krishna wasn't really interested in the cows. He was interested in Srimati Radharani. They let him in anyway, and poor Abhimanyu had been kicked out. Krishna then said, today is a special day. There is celebration in the temple, and I would like, so he explained it, why, and there was in fact, it was a special day, so not really that big, but something that was good enough for them, for Krishna to come up with the excuse. That Srimati Radharani, he said to Jatila and Kutila, she should go to the temple and worship in the evening and also chant and stay all night worshiping goddess in the temple. Jatila and Kutila said, it was a wonderful idea. Absolutely. Go on. Abhimanyu, take Radharani and go. So then Krishna, disguised as Abhimanyu, gets to take Radharani right out of the market. They go to the temple, just like I promised. And then when they got there, Lalita was there, Vishaka was there, and Radharani was very happy to see them. And she knew that that was in fact Krishna that had disguised himself like that. So they had the whole night to do whatever they wanted to do in the rasas, the gopis. So Krishna tricked Jatila and Kutila like that. Whatever happened to Abhimanyu, I don't know. But the poor guy was really tricked. And the family also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, there is offering. So go one more?
No, we have it at 6:30, so one more.
Okay, so I'll say a really quick one. Last one. This is the last one. And in this one, it's also about Jatila, Kutila, Abhimanyu, and while we're on it, there's another pastime. So Jatila and Kutila, they don't like the idea that Krishna and Radharani relate to each other because they are taking the marriage between Abhimanyu and Radharani seriously. Abhimanyu is a brother and also the son for the two of them. And so one day they found out that Radharani was actually with Krishna, not far away from the house. So they told Abhimanyu, we have heard that your wife is with Krishna, so go find your wife. Leave that man, find your wife. So Abhimanyu starts off from home towards the direction they said that Radha and Krishna were. So he walks for a little while, and then Radha and Krishna saw Abhimanyu coming. And his body language, the way he was walking, it was obvious to them even from that distance that he was quite upset that Krishna had Radha because Radha is supposed to be his wife. So he kept coming. And Radharani turned to Krishna and says, well, Abhimanyu is coming. What should we do? What should we do? I don't want any kind of confrontation. So what should we do? And Krishna told Radha, don't worry about it. We'll plan something. Now you're facing me, telling Krishna is telling Radha. You're facing me, right? So Krishna was sitting and Radharani was facing him. So Radharani's back was to Abhimanyu. So that distance coming from, so Krishna is facing, so Krishna could see Abhimanyu, but Radha couldn't because Radha's back was to Abhimanyu. And Krishna told Radha, you know what you're offering me, just go on, offer something to me, you know, they should, Abhimanyu should see that you're offering something to me. And so Radharani did as she was told. She had a hand out. In the meantime, Abhimanyu is coming. And when Abhimanyu got close, Abhimanyu immediately went down and offered Dandavat. And it's like, what's going on? What's going on? You were expecting that there was going to be some, you know, ruckus, something between the two of them. So Abhimanyu, first, Radharani turned to look at Abhimanyu. And so Radharani saw Abhimanyu go down, okay? And at the time that he turned, something happened. She turned to look at Abhimanyu, something happened. So when Abhimanyu went down, Radharani is wondering. So she turned her head back again towards Krishna. There was no Krishna. So who was there? Durga. Durga Mata was there. Krishna had changed himself to Durga. At the time that Radharani turned her head to look at the Abhimanyu coming, that's when Krishna made that transformation. So when he came back and saw Durga, oh, so that's why Abhimanyu went down and offered, you know, prostrate obeisances to the goddess. And so, of course, with Abhimanyu seeing goddess Durga, he wasn't about to cause any kind of problem because there was no Krishna. This has been a big mistake. So to him, Radharani was actually worshiping goddess Durga. And so Abhimanyu didn't say anything, but Abhimanyu did in fact go back home with Radharani though. So, but there was no argument. So that's how that ended. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnava Thakur ki jai. No. Okay. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Well, yeah. The microphone is there. Maybe one question and then you can go.
I just thought that it was wonderful that Krishna played a better Abhimanyu than he can play. I think that's just a wonderful part. Also, whenever he played the Gopas and completely recreated himself as them when Brahma stole the cowherd boys, it's a similar situation where he played a better version of Abhimanyu. And I just, that part really stuck with me, that he just plays a better part of all of us if he wanted, you know.
Yeah, Krishna is very timely in the way that he pulls stuff, you know, right, yeah. So yeah. Brahma's stole the cows and the calves, and Krishna turned himself. That's a whole different pastime, and there's a lot that we learn from that too. Hare Krishna, thank you. Any other comments before we stop? Okay. Vaishnava Thakur ki, Itai Guru Premanandi, Hari 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 Bo, Jai. I think the next thing has to do with So we're going to have Guru Puja now, with the Kirtan, and then after that will be the Arti, Guru Puja, Arti, and then we go out. Okay, we're going for the Jhulana-yatra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, if we can come closer towards Prabhupada, not too far. We want to be close to Prabhupada, not farther from Prabhupada. That's the whole idea. So let's come closer and we'll chant the Sri Guru Vandana prayers. Hari-bol.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Salma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Salma. Bando moi savadhana mate. Jahara prasade bhai e bhava toriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha hoy te. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chite Te Koriya Kya. Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha. Arana Kori Ho Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Eshe Uttama Gati. Jai Prasad Pure Sarva Asha. Jai Prasad Pure Sarva Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asya Shadeshatarine. Gauravani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Jai Shri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Bahe Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Bahe Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha
His Divine Grace ISKCON Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajikacharya Stotra Satyasishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi ki Namacharya Sri Hari-bhakti-vilasa Thakur ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Sri Prabhupada ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Mathura Dham ki Navadvip Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Ganga Mai ki Jamuna Mai ki Tulsi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. God Shri Prabhupada. Grab your shoes. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Wow. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare